Alright, so in this video, I'm going to be showing you why I pay Mark Zuckerberg $10,000 per month and I'm 16 years old. Now, I'll get to that in 1 second, but I just want to talk about, first of all, like how crazy that is. I mean, back when I was 14 years old, I dreamt of making $10,000 a month, and now I pay Mark Zuckerberg that much per month, and there's a few reasons why. If you haven't guessed already, I'm talking about Meta ads. So I pay $10,000 a month right now to Meta for advertising services, obviously to show my ads to my ideal clients. And here is the list of reasons. The first one is short term. I mean, just look at the amount of leads we're getting right now. If I pull this up, this is my business partners page. We're running all our ads to here, $10,000 a month in ad spend, and we're running ads to get followers. I'll tell you why this is quite possibly the best strategy you've ever heard of later in this video. But you can just see the sheer amount of people who are following from our ad, from our reels, from all these things, and every day we're getting a ton of really qualified leads following us, right? We can see this guy here, we can see this guy here, we can see, like just a massive amount of people. And this is only in the last 6 hours that people are seeing our ads, right? Only in 6 hours are we getting all of these qualified leads coming through. And we're getting about 20 per day on average right now. You can see this guy, blue tick, this guy, blue tick, this guy, blue tick, blue tick. Random not blue tick, but lead gen company, right? Oh, from India, so probably not. But the whole point is that on a daily basis, we're getting 20, 30 qualified leads per day, which is insane, all right? We're getting 100 followers a day right now, and if only 20 of those are qualified, and our A-player appointment setter reaches out to all of them, and only 5 of them reply, usually it's more like 7, then we're booking a call a day. And usually, if I look at like our Calendly, we're booking 3, 4, 5 calls a day, right? So do the maths on that. That means that in 3 days, we close a high-ticket client and pay off the ad spend for the entire month, guys. Now, I want you to kind of divert your attention from the short term. That is 36,500 followers per year. 36,000 qualified, nurtured leads. That many people just getting warm, getting nurtured. And so even the unqualified leads are technically qualified, because in a year from now, they'll probably be making 10x what they're currently making. And throughout that whole time, they've been getting nurtured and they're ready to buy. And long term, right? Even 5 years in the future, just imagine how useful that is to have an audience of tens of thousands of people just getting nurtured, getting warm, liking, trusting you, etc. And you can get thousands of these people, for example, into a webinar. So this will print money in the future. And you can see our appointment setter said today, bro, today there was an insane amount of qualified leads coming in that he was literally glued to the screen all day. We're about to hit 100K a month with this. Our max was 80K. We're going to 100K. And I want to tell you now about the mere exposure effect, because not only are we getting a ton of leads, which will make us a ton of money both short and long term, but we are going to be seen absolutely everywhere. And that's in addition to our content, which is blowing up, which will put us top of mind. Now, top of mind is a marketing principle that people in this space seem to neglect, but it's the same reason why big brands pay millions of dollars just for their logos to go on the Super Bowl. Have you ever seen at like these sporting events, right? These big sporting events where there's a lot of people in the stadium and a lot of people online that watch it. Sometimes you just see a logo there, like the cricket in Australia. You look at like the boards, like with the ads on them, and there's literally just a logo. And you're like, why is a company paying millions of dollars just for their logo there? It's to be top of mind, all right? Then let's say it was a car logo, right? And you see, Mercedes has put up an ad. When you think of getting a car, Mercedes is top of mind. So the whole thing of this is getting top of mind, right? When someone realizes, oh man, I have a problem with my ads, I have a problem with acquisition. Who's top of mind? We're top of mind because we spend the most on ads. We're in front of everyone everywhere. In fact, I would say about 30-40% of our budget right now is going into retargeting. We're going top of mind because we know how much money that is going to make us in the future. So anytime anyone has a problem, we're going to come to mind first. And also, it's about the perception, right? If you see a company, let's say, if you see Rolex put an ad into the Super Bowl, you know how much money, for example, it costs to put an ad in the Super Bowl. So it's kind of like when you show that ad, it's like a status symbol too, because it's like Rolex is not only advertising, but they're also crafting a status perception on their watches by showing it in the Super Bowl, because that is perceived as somewhere where luxury, expensive brands go. And so they're basically propping up the status of their products too. Now I want to talk to you about the illusory truth effect. Because if we're saying that we're good at ads, if we're saying we are the best at client acquisition and you're seeing our ads absolutely everywhere, then you're literally going to think that the ads are great, because otherwise you wouldn't be seeing them everywhere. We wouldn't be spending 10K a month on them. And so even if you don't like our ads, even if our ads aren't even that good, the fact that you're seeing them everywhere crafts the perception that our ads are good, because otherwise we wouldn't spend on them. So even if our ads completely fatigue, it's still not bad because it crafts that perception that our ads are good. Now I want to talk to you about the ROI, because one client from these ads is enough to cover the entire month's ad spend. So off the amount of qualified leads that are coming through daily, it is inevitable that we will see a strong ROAS this month, and we have a long-term sales cycle. So the ROAS next month is going to be insane, right? We're going to hit 100K next month, just before my birthday. And this is going to set the stage for that, okay? Now I want to talk to you about the mentor effect, because people will spend 10K on a mentor to teach them ads, which is, definitely necessary. But when it comes to ads itself, people worry about spending even a few $1,000s. Like, why are you worried about spending a few $1,000s on ads when you are happy to spend a mentor tens of thousands of dollars to teach you ads? Because I paid my mentor like 15K and I only spent 2K on ads. And I was thinking, I was like, this is the stupidest shit ever. Why the fuck didn't I just put the 15K into ads? I would have made way more money and I would have figured it out myself. So just spend more money on ads. It's like the most revenue generating expense you could think of. And it's the equivalent of, like imagine you're a beginner in entrepreneurship and you're like, and he comes to you and he's like, hey man, like I'm reading books, I'm meditating, I'm journaling, I'm doing my gratitude stuff, I'm going on walks. Like, why aren't I making any money? And you're like, okay, what do you do? And it's like, oh, I run an agency. Okay, how do you get clients? I get clients through outreach. And you're like, bro, what the fuck? Like, you're telling me that you're spending all your time reading, journaling, doing all this bullshit and not doing outreach to make you money. Like, it's the stupidest thing ever. If you're not spending at least 10K a month on ads and you have the budget to do that, like at least like 30% of your profit should go into ads, then what do you even, like, it's like the silliest thing ever, because you're literally like avoiding putting work on revenue driving tasks, avoiding putting time into things that'll make you money. But it's just, instead of time, it's money. And for some reason, people are more attached to money and it kind of like triggers their loss aversion because they're worried about losing more money. And also, it's just a little small percentage of what we made last month. So why wouldn't we just reinvest our money? Because you get to a point where you're financially chilling and you just say like, fuck it, right? My mentor said he and his business partner had a comfortable amount in their personal account. So they just looked at each other one month and they just said, fuck it. Let's pay Zuckerberg 50K this month. And they made $250,000 that month. So it clearly works. You just have to take the risk. And at this point, you're probably wondering, like, followers? I just showed you followers. Why are you running ads to get followers? And let me show you why right now and how we actually do it. Because this is the exact strategy that got us a 20x rise last month and nobody's talking about it, which is good news for us both. So the first step here is these ads. The ads which I just kind of told you that I'm spending 10K a month on. We call these cognitive reaction ads, where we get followers. The reason why we get followers is because it's low commitment, doesn't cost anyone a lot to follow. It's low cost, right? It's like very cheap. You can get followers at like $1 to $2 each. And it's very long term, right? Because they'll be in the ecosystem, seeing your reels, seeing your stories, seeing your results. So the sales cycle could be 3 months, it could be a year. But regardless, the people are so nurtured. So how do you actually do it? Let me break it down. This is the exact ad structure we use. We firstly have what I call a primal driven hook, where we make a hook where we use one of these 16 human desires in the hook, which is basically guaranteed to capture their attention. Then we do a introduction of a problem. So we introduce 1 to 3 of their biggest pain points, and we need to make sure that it's not done in a way where we're making them seem stupid or lazy or blaming them or anything, because that's way harder to do than just pointing at a random problem and saying it's not their fault, but there's a solution for it, right? And then the human brain is like, oh, there's a solution, let me solve this, right? Then you want to agitate it. So people are not going to take the action of the CTA if they don't feel enough pain to take the action, right? If you're getting pinched by someone for a minute straight, you're eventually going to take the action to get away from them or push them away from you or whatever, because it's causing you enough pain. So we agitate it by making their problem seem eternal and trappy, so they can't actually fix it on their own. And it's been going this way for a long time and there's no solution, right? Then we have the mid-roll call to action, where we say, look, follow me and I'll show you. And then we introduce the unique mechanism. So how the automated Instagram ecosystem. And then this is important, we have an authority boost. So we say has helped 50 ICP just like you. So 50 coaches just like you. And then we get into benefits. Scale to 100K a month profit whilst only spending $10,000 on ads, blah, blah, blah. And we get into the benefits and then the desired outcome, because benefits and desired outcome is different, right? For a B2C, the benefit could be making 10K a month, and the desired outcome could be traveling the world, quitting your 9 to 5, etc. So benefits and desired outcome is different, but you need to be more careful about things like desired outcome and problem and agitation in B2B, because they're more sophisticated, right? And no one's really you're not really able to sell sophisticated B2B people a dream like that, just because, once again, they're sophisticated. They're like, oh, I've seen through this, it's bullshit, whatever. So for B2B, it's more of a result game where you then want to prove it with 2 to 3 client results, because at this point, people are still watching, but they haven't taken the action because why? They're skeptical. So we can remove the skepticism with 2 to 3 client results. And then after doing that, we want to then have an identity-based call to action where we basically say, look, if you are tired of their biggest pain point and you actually want their desired outcome, then take this action and I'll show you these things for free, because they're basically following. So if you're tired of being stuck in the same cycle, spending hours building your boss's dream, then go ahead, go to my profile, drop me a follow. I'll show you how to escape your 9 to 5, how to build a 10K a month Amazon FBA business, blah, 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 for 100% free. That's an identity-based call to action because it's free, it's irresistible, and if they don't take the free action that costs them nothing, then they're basically violating the person that they want to become. So this CTA is extremely effective for anyone who's been watching along, they're a bit skeptical, they've even seen the client results. This basically forces them to take the action. Anyway, from there, these people going on to what we call an Instagram landing page, where they are seeing your reels, your stories, your page setup, your YouTube, your DMs, every single day if you're consistent, right? For me, I post on YouTube every single day. I'm nearly at 600 subscribers now. I hit 500 the other day. So shit is growing fast. And I've also just started to understand the game. By the way, mid-roll call to action on the YouTube. Look, if you're in this info space and you want to see how I'm growing my business to $100,000 a month at 16, we're currently doing 80, then go ahead, subscribe. I make daily breakdowns on here. Anyway, this is like retargeting ads on steroids because the touch points are insane. Once again, we're keeping people top of mind, right? Top of mind is something really important, because as you grow your personal brand, there's going to be a lot of people seeing your social proof, seeing your value, seeing your messaging, who are on the fence and you don't even know about it. You need to stay top of mind until their pain, their problem gets so strong, right? Until they're sick and tired of staying trapped at where they are, that they're then going to take that action and they're going to go to whoever's top of mind. So how do you build on? It's pretty simple, right? Have an optimized profile picture. Lifestyle is ideal because that just makes you look like a more fun person. Have a verified tick. Have a bio with authority. So you see my bio, authority line, ICP here, and then unique mechanism here. And then it funnels to my YouTube, right? Another thing I'd suggest you do is buy your domain and link it to YouTube. So if we go to liamdebney.com, where does it take you? To my YouTube channel. So buy your domain, set it to redirect to your YouTube channel. If you go to liamdebney.com, make sure to hit subscribe. But anyway, let's keep going. Then you want to have highlights. Now this is a perception driven highlight because we have multiple result highlights. What does this do? It makes people perceive that I have a ton of client results because I needed multiple highlights to contain them all. Even if you only have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, split that across 5 different ones to build that perception. Then you want to have lifestyle here, just pinned, just to make it kind of look like, as funny as it is to say, like you've kind of gotten out of the trenches basically, because I see a lot of people who come to me who, they just look like they're still a kid, like they're still trying to make it. And no one wants to work with someone trying to make it. People want to work with someone who's already made it. Then you want to have your reels, have nice thumbnails, make it look nice. Branding is really important. Some of the most successful people I know are, fully in on branding. They fully say this is the best thing you could possibly do. Anyway, from here, we then want to convert people who are on your profile. And the way we do this is by leveraging one-to-one human connection at scale. This is what we call a cognitive bias, right? It's a way to build trust, because trust is what's needed to convert. And in this day and age, VSLs, webinars, all these things have completely shattered trust, right? Pre-recorded webinars, whoever did that Sure, they were a genius in their time, but now the market is caught on. Everyone knows it's BS, and so trust is shattered. The only way to restore trust is by mimicking the most basically raw form of that, which is one-to-one human connection. Now, obviously, you don't have time to talk to hundreds of leads per day. So what we do is we leverage that with an appointment setter or an AI. I have an AI that does that. It's coming out soon. But anyway, we leverage the one-to-one human connection with an appointment setter who will start conversations with these followers by messaging them. And then they're able to send them voice notes, videos and photos, follow-up messages. It's one-to-one at scale, and they can even call them if you want. So it's all these things at scale. And to hire a setter, simply post a story, then say like, hey, I'm looking for an appointment setter for my business. Go ahead. If you know anyone, refer me to them, so on, so on. Interview them, then set up an onboarding call, then build a setting flow, which is basically a step-by-step setting process. You need an opener message to start the conversation. Then you want to get into, current situation, like numbers, for example, if it's B2B, like how much money they're making, then problems, then goals, and then you basically want to start pitching. Now, we do a 3-step pitch. So you want to pitch help first, basically saying like, look, I wouldn't mind helping you with XYZ. Then when they say, I love that, you then pitch them a call. And when they say yes to the call, you then pitch them a Calendly link. That is the setting process that I suggest you use. It works really well for a lot of clients. And then you run a ramp up phase where you do daily calls with them for 5 days straight, monitor their work, make sure it's on track, make sure it's dialed, etc., etc. Now from here, I now want to talk to you about just a numerical analysis and an evaluation, right? Because let's say you're only running ads at $100 a day. That's only $3K a month in spend. And you're getting 250 profile visits a day, $2 per follower, that's 50 followers a day. If 16 of those are qualified, 8 of those reply when the opener is sent, that's 4 calls booked, right? We have a 50% booking rate with our setup. Now, obviously that's because we have a really dialed setting process, but that's 50% book, 3 showed up, 1 closed. And then you have like this insane ROAS, all right? We're scaling to 1 client a day end of year, which will be like 300K a month for us. And I want to be at $1 million a month by the time I turn 18. And I know I can do it because my frequency is so high. So if you want to, work out how I'm doing all these things, see how I'm doing this for my clients, how I'm scaling them to $50,000, $100,000 a month with this funnel, with this system, more in depth. I make videos on my channel going over all of this and more specifically showing you how we actually do it and not just why. This is why instead of just, leaving the video at this, I showed you more in depth how, because I think there's so much bullshit on YouTube where people just make videos showing you like, yeah, we run an ad to a VSL and then we have people book a call and it's like, okay, how do you make the ad? How do you make the VSL? Tell me the specifics, because otherwise you're just sitting around wasting your time. I want everyone watching my videos to actually learn and to not waste their time. So if you want to, spend time on YouTube effectively, just subscribe to me, make daily videos like this. I'll see you on the next one. Have a great day. Peace out.